Our South Africa Bureau Chief Betty Dibia joins us live now on the programme to tell us more about this. Hello, Betty. How does this ruling affect all those who have been convicted for violating the law and are now serving sentences for being caught using cannabis?
Well, I'm not quite sure if the law or the new development will, if the law is amended, it will work backwards, or the ruling of the court. But we know that in March last year, when Judge Dennis Davis of the Western Cape High Court ruled, he talked about pending cases, where he said anyone who has been arrested for using dagga will have their cases stayed until the laws governing the use and ownership of dagga have been brought in line with the Constitution. But he also cleared that if I'll use his words, he said in the interim period, it's necessary to provide that prosecutions that fall within legal provision declared to be unconstitutional should be stayed. That's those just arrested for using it in personal capacity, not dealing in it or selling it publicly or using it publicly. So that's as far as it goes. But I'm not quite sure if amended by Parliament, this will work backwards to free those who have already been convicted.
Okay, so what measures are being put in place to ensure that people, especially the youth, do not abuse the drug for recreational purposes?
Well, I don't know about measures, but it's still up to Parliament to like give a particular shape, because a lot of things are still up in the air. As we speak, the judges at the Constitutional Court left it to Parliament to amend the relevant laws. That's the relevant aspects of the laws to go in line with the Constitution in order to effect. We still have people talking about it. First, South Africa has problems with jobs. You have non-governmental organizations worried about young people, as you mentioned, worried about young people policing the youth to ensure, or even to agree on what is the adequate amount for personal use. So those things are still up in the air. By the time Parliament debates and agrees on what is what, then we'll be able to speak. But as it is, those who are worried, there are valid reasons for their worry. And those who are still high, or excuse my use of the word, are happy, or they feel vindicated.
Okay, so what's the general public reaction to the ruling?
As I said just now, those who are very high on the judgment, and those who are worried are worried. Some of the departments are worried. There are those who say this may be used as a gateway drug to other drugs, especially for young people in a country where you have a drug problem. We know that legally the Constitutional Court has already ruled regarding this, which is the apex court. So it's up to Parliament. The debate in Parliament will shape how this will, turn out eventually. But there are people who are very worried about certain issues regarding the policing of this law and the dividing line between what is personal use. There was an issue, especially with the High Court ruling. We talked about restricting it to the use of home in the home. But the lawyer, Gareth Prince, talked against that, saying you can't restrict. A home is not only the private place, which the Constitutional Court held up, saying, or agreed with, saying that it's expanding the scope of what is a private place to be beyond the home. So there are areas of disagreement. There are loopholes people feel will be exploited, but by the time the Parliament agrees on what should be, then we'll know the next steps.
Okay, like you said, several government ministries have challenged this ruling, arguing that it's not in line with the Constitution. Is there still any other legal avenue through which they can fight this ruling?
I do not think so, since the apex court has spoken, and part of that ruling, the Constitutional Court dismissed their appeal against the ruling of the High Court, and said he's decriminalizing the use or possession of cannabis by an adult in private for the adult's personal consumption. So the apex court has interpreted how it understands the Constitution and leaves it to, but it suspended its order of invalidity for 24 months to give the Parliament an opportunity to correct what it describes as defects in the two acts that we had mentioned earlier. But that's it regarding this. It's how the shape of this ruling or the amendments to the Constitution or to the laws, I mean, that will be shaped in Parliament when they debate this issue.
Betty Dibia, thanks for joining us on the program. Thank you. Still to come on the program, researchers at Stanford University work on creating a cooling system for people wearing protective suits. Please stay with us.